Think about holding a tiny piece of history in your hand, a coin that whispers secrets from the past, that carries not only monetary value, but also a story that spans decades, monarchs, and minting mishaps. Today, we're diving into the remarkable tale of the 1979-era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule, a collector's treasure, a design anomaly that has captivated numismatists around the world. Stick around as we explore the rich historical backdrop, the intricate design details, the mystery behind its minting era, its rarity, and what makes collectors' hearts beat faster. Let's begin with the story that set the stage for this coin. Long before 1979, Britain had a long and storied tradition of coinage under Queen Elizabeth II, whose reign began in 1952. Coins minted in the early years of her reign carried the new pence denomination. This wording began in 1968, when Britain was in the midst of decimalizing its currency, transitioning from pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal system. The new served to distinguish the new system from the old, and new pence appeared on one side of the coin opposite the Queen's profile. The year 1971 marked the official start of decimal coinage circulation. By 1979, 8 years into the system, visitors and locals alike were fully accustomed to handling new pence. Yet, something unusual occurred at the Royal Mint. A batch of 1979 new pence coins was produced with a striking error, one that would become legendary among collectors. The coin itself measures 2.75 grams in weight and has a diameter of 2.5 centimeters, minted in cupronickel. Its obverse bears the familiar likeness of Queen Elizabeth II, her portrait by Arnold Machen, elegant and regal, with her diadem, her classical profile, the legend Elizabeth to DG Reg FD by the grace of God Queen, defender of the faith, and the date. On the reverse, there's the new decimal face value, new pence beneath the Tudor rose, thistle, leek, and shamrock, representing England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, encircled by a rose and the words 5 new pence. Now, here's where things get interesting. In 1979, most 5 new pence coins actually read new pence, but collectors discovered a small subset, a rare error coin, where the text was rendered as new penny. At first glance, this might seem a minor variation. The curious might ask, why does that matter? In truth, new penny was the legend used from 1968 to 1981 on some denominations, particularly the 1 penny, but never intended for the 5 pence piece. The appearance of new penny on a 5 pence coin indicates a mismatched die, a rare minting error born of oversight during die manufacture or installation. These mixed legends are extremely rare, making any verified examples extraordinary finds. Collectors prize these error coins for several reasons. First, their rarity. Only a limited number of mismatched dies made it into circulation before QC caught the problem and corrected it. Second, the error is dramatic enough to be unmistakable, but subtle enough to slip past casual inspection. Third, the story behind the error, the human, mechanical, or procedural glitch at the Royal Mint, adds depth and intrigue. The history of the minting process in that era reveals a high-volume operation. The Royal Mint, located in Tower Hill until 1968, and then operating from Llantrisant, Wales, was producing millions of coins annually to meet the demands of a decimalizing nation. At such throughput levels, quality control was normally rigorous, but occasional slip-ups happen even in the most disciplined operations. The error likely occurred when a new penny reverse die for a different denomination was paired with a blank planchet and struck with the 5 pence obverse. When did collectors first notice this? Reports surfaced in the early 1980s as numismatic magazines and club bulletins began documenting sightings. One collector described it in astonishment. "I couldn't believe my eyes when the coin said new penny on a 5 pence. Word of mouth spread, making these coins highly sought after by specialists of UK decimal errors. In terms of design features, let's immerse ourselves in the imagery. The Queen's effigy is traditional and dignified. You can almost trace the contours of her cheek, the fine lines of the hair, the way the crown sits. This portrait anchors the obverse in continuity with decades of coinage. On the reverse, the beautifully balanced motifs of the floral symbols wrap around that central rose, blending England's emblem with those of Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The words 5 new pence are set clearly beneath the intertwined flora, except in the error coins, where penny replaces pence, creating an immediate visual mismatch that strikes the trained eye. Mintage figures offer another clue to the coin story. In 1979, the Royal Mint produced approximately 70 million 5 new pence coins. However, the era coins constitute only a minute fraction few dozen, or perhaps a few hundred at most, based on auction and dealer reports. Precise numbers are elusive due to the nature of the era, but consensus among experts sets them in that tiny range, enhancing their rarity and value. On the collector's market, values for these era coins vary significantly based on condition. In worn, circulated grades, they might fetch a few tens or hundreds of pounds. Mint or near-mint examples, especially those graded by professional services, for example PCGS, NGC, London, can command much higher premium, often several hundred to over £1,000, depending on grade, pedigree, and visibility in the collecting community. Beyond price, collector interest is driven by the coin's narrative. Every coin carries not just metal and design, but a story. The era becomes a touch point for conversation, a tangible testament to the human element in coin production. Enthusiasts speculating about the cause the mix-up in dies. The oversight in QC share theories and evidence in forums, publications, and at coin shows. Let's imagine holding one of these era coins in your palm. You weigh it, admire the subtle glint of cupronickel, close your hand around it. You inspect new penny and think, mismatched legend, why was that die used? Did someone at the die shop misfile it? Was there a repurposed die from a penny order? This tactile and intellectual engagement makes era coins endlessly fascinating. Beyond the immediate design and rarity, the historical context matters too. 1979 was a year of change in Britain. Margaret Thatcher became Prime Minister that May. The economy was grappling with inflation, manufacturing shifts, and political realignments. Amid those tumultuous currents, mint workers in Lantrison were quietly striking coins, unaware that one small oversight would ripple through numismatic circles for decades. That connection between national history and personal artifact gives the coin emotional resonance. Collectors often explore varieties, trying to document whether there are slight differences in die alignment, font size, or spacing between the standard pence and the era penny. Every micro-detail becomes a clue in sorting genuine errors from subtle variants or even counterfeit attempts. The most reputable examples are confirmed via expert examination of die characteristics. Auctions for era coins sometimes pull in excited bidding. I remember one auction where a raw, uncertified, but boldly struck new penny 5 pence brought nearly £4,000. While a graded specimen in MS63 went for over 8,000, proof that grade and provenance significantly affect value. Collectors also prize these coins because they connect to a larger narrative of decimalization. Decimal currency represented modernization, while new pence was a linguistic marker of transition. The mismatched new penny on a higher value coin kinda bridges old and new, accidentally symbolic, and all the more fascinating. In summary, the 1979 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin stands as a brilliant intersection of history, design, human error, numismatic intrigue, and collector passion. Its rarity is palpable, its story compelling, its demand enduring, and that's our deep dive into the 1979 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. From the historical setting to design details, the rare misprint that turned it into a collector's legend, and the market that continues to prize it, this coin has it all. If you've ever held one, or are hoping to add one to your collection, you're handling a tiny but powerful thread of history.